First, I like to apologize because everyone knows when I do my videos, I like to have visuals. I like to quote where I got my information from, reference where I got my information from, and give credit to those or places that I got information from. I'm not able to do that. However, I'm going to go forth, and I pray that you will take this to heart because of some things. I'm going to give you a quick synopsis of things you might know. Then with the solar eclipse tomorrow, but there's going to be some things that I haven't heard anyone speak of and anyone acknowledge, and we all need to know this. Okay, so first let's just go in. So the solar eclipse happens tomorrow, April 8th, 2024. It's supposed to start at 11:07 a.m. It's supposed to last about 4.5 minutes. Excuse me. And when it comes, it's supposed to create and complete a perfect X. And what that means is that the previous solar eclipse that was from 2017 came across the states one way, and this one is going across the state another way, which is going to make a perfect X. Now, 2017, when it crossed so many states, so many cities, it also hit a lot of, a lot of parks, states, hit a lot of cities named Salem. And Salem means peace, and it also is the ancient word for Jerusalem. Now, as we go into this year, the solar eclipse is going to go across 27 states. 27 parks, 13 states, and about 7 or 8 cities named Nineveh. Now, Nineveh means house of fish or enmity with God, which means in opposition of God. So we need to keep that in mind. Now, in that perfect X, they said the center of where that X meet, one group of people, scientists, researchers are saying it's going to, and that perfect X is going, the center of it is going to be a place called Rapture. Another group is saying that it's going to be a place called Devil's Lake Kitchen in Salem's Road. Either way, it's not good. So nonetheless, this is not saying that the world's going to end tomorrow, but it is for us to take heed because there is some things going to be happening tomorrow that nobody's talking about. Okay, so let me go forth. Now, they said the sun is going to get completely dark all over across America, just like it mentioned in Job 2:29, and it's going to be, and the solar eclipse is going to be directly above a constellation called Cetus. Now, y'all won't have to go to research that because I'm trying to keep this short, but it's significant, to say the least, because it's not Cetus it got some history. So nonetheless, during the same time this solar eclipse is happening, there's going to be trillions of cicadas that's coming out of the ground. Now, there's going to be 2 different kinds of cicadas that's coming out of the ground. Brog X111, which is 13. And that actually cicada is a 13-year cicada that's coming out the ground. And the other one is a 17-year cicada that's coming out of the ground called Brog X1X, which is 21, and 2 and 1 is a 3. The lowest denominator is a 3, which 3 means completion. So I thought that was a significant number. But nonetheless, this hasn't never happened. This is not something that constantly always happens. This is something that's rare. And it hasn't happened in almost over 200 years since 1803. So that whole significance of them coming out of the ground in that manner is going to be a lot. So it's going to be a lot happening. But notice cicadas. And that's not necessarily anything to fear. Cicadas are normally known to sing loudly and to pee all over the place. So when you feel that mist, that's what it is. But don't get alarmed because it's mainly water, because cicadas intake is normally water. So don't get freaked out. Okay, now let's go back to the X. Did anybody notice that it's interesting that this thing is forming an X? And it's also interesting that Elon Musk purchased Twitter and renamed it X. But when you first look at Twitter, it was light, it was airy, it had the bird, which means like kind of like give you the thing of the sky, and it was light in color, it was bright. And then Elon Musk changed to an X, and though the X is supposed to be white, it's set up to make it look dark. So now you got something light turn into something dark. But I thought it was interesting that he would decide to use that name X on that. And I thought it was interesting that 11 months ago they started talking about this solar eclipse and this X formation and stuff like that 11 months ago, which I thought was kind of odd to do something so far out. and have that kind of accuracy is interesting in itself. But nonetheless, let's go forward. Now, what else is going to be happening tomorrow outside of the solar eclipse happening? Then you have the cicadas, trillions of cicadas coming out of the ground on 2 different kinds on Earth. Now, while that's happening, you're gonna have NASA, which is formerly was a NECA. That was the original name, but nonetheless, even when you look at that logo, when you look at that that red thing, it looked like a snake's tongue. But nonetheless, I digress. Let's go back. NASA will be launching rockets. They're going to be launching rockets into the atmosphere, supposedly to learn about the sun during the eclipse. They're also supposed to be sending planes up. So they're going to send rockets, and then they're also going to have planes flying up there doing 5 different kind of experiments. These planes are called WB-57, and they're actually going to be chasing the eclipse, doing some kind of experiments. And they said they want to know why the corona is million degrees hotter than the surface of the sun. Which I thought was interesting, because if a lot of you may not know, I did a video on the coronavirus on my thing, and what the Lord gave me, a lot of people didn't even understand that whole breakdown until I broke it down, like what that was really about. But nonetheless, corona means crown, if whoever didn't know that. And they called it corona because when they looked at the sun, it looked like it had spikes like the crown of thorns that was on Jesus' head. So that's why they named it that. I thought it was interesting that they don't believe in it, but then they call it that. So nonetheless, that's let's keep it moving. Now, the corona. I'm sorry. Let's go back. Now, who remembers CERN? You remember CERN? That's that group that came up with, was doing all that stuff up in there in the atmosphere, in the sky, and in the space and all of that. And they had, in their numbers, a 666. They kind of switched around and don't make it look like that, but that's exactly what it is, a 666. But nonetheless, CERN is going to be attempting to harness the power of the large hardened collider. I think I say pronounce it collider. During the solar eclipse, to so-called help them understand dark matter, which is different from antimatter and dark energy. So then they're going to be up there fooling around with this thing, trying to figure out how to understand some kind of dark matter. Which I also thought it was interesting that Cat Williams had named his tour Dark Matter. I thought that was interesting. So there may be some correlation there, which I have to dig a little bit more into. But nonetheless, I'm mainly doing this video for this reason. What a lot of people don't understand is when they get to fooling up there, if you look at that Travis Scott concert and you see how the people was playing this music. They kept playing this music, and it was a certain kind of vibrational type of music, and they played it all day. And by the time the concert started, what happened? If you look at those videos, you can see dark matter going in and out of the crowd. You can see people was talking about how they felt like they were being suffocated. They felt like they was being taken over by something. They felt like they was being crushed. They felt like they literally was in hell. And so when you do something with the atmosphere, you keep messing around with this atmosphere, like they're going to be doing, shooting up rockets, doing experiments, trying to harvest power and all this other stuff. This is a gateway to open up portals for demonic presence to come in here. So what the problem with that's going to be is a lot of people are not prepared to deal with certain kind of demonic presence. Now, certain ones that we have, some things you can pray off, some things you can warfare, something you can fast, whatever. But some things you really got to have that deep core relationship with the Lord in order the Lord to do some stuff. So I want to just say this. If you have a relationship with the Lord, make sure it's tight. If you don't have a relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ, please get one. And also, if you have any kind of unforgiveness, jealousy, envy, immorality, if you're doing anything that is not pleasing in the eyesight of God, I would suggest at this point all the way through to tomorrow to ask the Lord to take those things from you and fill you with the Holy Spirit and those empty voids, and ask Him when He removes it to bring those things to absolute death so they won't be able to even return. And the reason that is that because when these portals open and these demonic spirits come in, they're going to go to the ones that's most susceptible. So if you're already in some kind of mess and some kind of turmoil and hatred and jealousy or envy and things like that, you're easily to be subdued. So I just wanted to let us know to be careful, cover yourself, cover your family. All right.